You can see here when Austin Walker was out there, he said the top of this, what was an apartment building under construction, completely collapsed. But it looks to me like they've maybe finally put out that huge plume of smoke, like Ben said, we were seeing from uptown and from our view camera. And for a while there, the flames were so intense, it looked like they didn't have it under control. But it looks like Charlotte Fire Department has finally got this under control a little bit here.
We do have to say, I mean, even with the house fires we cover, you honestly don't always know for perhaps hours afterwards, because there's those hot spots.
Yeah.
And when you have
Yeah,
a building,
for sure.
when you have a building this size, trying to get a hold of it and know for sure that you have got a handle on it is going to be a Herculean task for some of these firefighters, and that's why you still see them fighting it with the water.
And you can see how adding too. I mean, some of these materials are flammable in and of themselves. So to say that it's under control, it's hard for us to say that from the desk, right? Because they're facing some elements that we're not even aware of, because we can only get so close with our cameras.
All right, let's send it out to Jane Monreal. She's live on the scene for us. I believe we have her now. Jane, what can you tell us?
Sarah, we are right across the street from the fire here off Fairview and Piedmont Row. We arrived here about 10 minutes ago, where the flames were pretty furious and fiery, but you can see that gray smoke right now as things are looking to dissipate, at least in the air from our vantage point. I can tell you, with the light wind gusts and the breeze, there was debris falling on us, certainly some of the ashes, and you know, it is the smoke that is also quite dangerous. So for those who have asthma or respiratory issues that are at home or in the office, want to stay inside, we do see a lot of spectators here on the sidewalk right now. I also spoke to a construction worker who has worked on and off this site for the past few months. He did say that it seemed to have started from an installation truck. So we're going to work on getting our own independent confirmation on that. But an installation truck would be enough fuel to burn like it did at this construction site. Again, we are just watching all of the crews here arrive on scene and trying to gather as much information from witnesses as well as emergency responders here on scene. So we'll be here throughout the morning covering this up until now, though. It looks like, at least traffic-wise, things are under control. The energy is not as panicked or as rushed as it was when we first got here, but they are moving spectators away from the building itself. They certainly moved us across the street. And Phil, here, if you can pan over to some of the construction workers right there on the corner, it looks like they may have worked from that site as well. I'm also talking to some people, or watching some people that are putting their masks on. Some people were coughing, so the smoke here is pretty intense. It's gray, and then outside of this perimeter I can see some blue sky. So yeah, it's not so cloudy, but it is gray because of all of this smoke, which obviously you can see for miles.
Jane,
for now, back to you guys in the studio.
With the video we're seeing, it's very easy to get caught up in the damage that's happening there, but what do we know about the people involved? Have we heard anything? Have we seen anything of people getting treated there on scene?
Ben, we have not seen anyone as far as like a triage situation being treated. We do see just people walking on their own accord, you know, out and about here. But, you know, people are just covering their mouths right now. But I'm working again to gather what is happening. We did see another medic unit arrive here on scene as well without sirens. So that somewhat of an encouraging sign. Ben?
All right.
Jane, can you elaborate a little bit more on what you're hearing about this insulation truck?
Yeah, hard to say. I asked, like, what time did this start? And the one fire that I spoke to, she said all they did was get a ticket. She doesn't recall what the actual cause of was yet. That's yet to be determined and confirmed. The one construction worker I spoke to said, yeah, it is a real mess out there. He doesn't remember what time it was, and as far as like the size of the truck, you know, these insulation trucks, it's a lot of material to put up on these new apartments and complexes. So Again, we're working to determine how many trucks were on scene, how big that truck was, but certainly insulation is a major fuel for a big fire like this.
All right, Jane, thank you for that.